Hello. So, this is going to be a video about the visions, okay, of the staff and the sword. Alright? But before I give you the two visions, I want to tell you something the voice told me yesterday that I forgot to mention in the video because I didn't really have enough time. But I had this best friend for since I was 15. And I stopped talking to him because, this goes back to what they say about you can't have two masters. When you call yourself an American, you subtract yourself. You call yourself a man. You call yourself whatever. You have to choose no matter what. And I realized, people can't see your struggle the way you can. They can't. And I understand this is biblical. This is like Ramses and Exodus, where Moses is trying to plead to this man and he just wouldn't understand. It's a lot of people like that in my life. Work, America, court system, my daughter's mother, my daughter. I could tell you stories. But, I hate that, I'm such an intelligent person, so much so that I let people believe that I'm okay and I'm not. It's one of the reasons why, me and my wife stopped talking. It's just I understand that I say I'm tired. And it's nobody's fault but mine that I smile a lot because I don't want anybody involved in it. I barely want to be involved in it. The best I could do is just smile in your face. But nonetheless, the voice says something to me so powerful. And he was like, listen, we all lost sheep. All of us. Right? And there's a certain sort of orphan, let's call it orphanism, that occurs when you're not being heard. You're trying to get somebody to listen to your issues. And he tell you it's not as big as you're making it seem like, or well, he's like, listen, when they, we're such, that's how he said it, we're such lost sheep that when you go into someone to ask for help, it's because you're a lost sheep. And if you're going to this person as a lost sheep to ask for help, you're basically asking for a shepherd. Because you're a lost sheep trying to be heard again. And the moment that the person won't listen to you as a lost lamb, you walk away. And I understand this thing inside and trying so hard to make me feel better about the demons I deal with inside of me. But nonetheless, staff and the sword. And I'm going to give you the sword first. There's a reason why when you die, they put you in a casket made out of wood. Okay. Because long ago, this is what the voice, a prophet from long ago realized that the way we were praying was wrong. It needed to connect to heaven as an electrical source to place the iron back into the ground so it could connect to the other pieces of iron ore that is our family. Okay. And if you understand the parable in the religious codex known as Bible, where it says that the creator is basically like a ironsmith, Because when you smithing iron with the raw ore, because this is not what iron looks like. Okay. What happened is a hand went into the ground, took out the iron ore, and did to the iron ore what the education system did to us. That's why it's called, what did he say? Kindergarten. So it's like kin, which is our family, the red, which is the ore, the copper ore, the iron ore, and garden, which is where we retrieved the iron from. Okay. And what you, it is said in the parable that when you ask a person who smiths iron, when they know that the iron is completely rid of all its impurities, they say you see your image in the same way the Creator saw its image in us. It created us. Okay. So what happens is, just like us, we've got iron in our blood. Okay. Where like we can be either weapons. We're weapons, babe. We're walking weapons is what we were created to be. Okay. So this is like the equivalent of a coffin, so that when you put the sword within the coffin, you put it at rest. Okay. And a lot of us are like swords. This is why, like, you can look at a sword, see it's dangerous. In the same way, women look at men and they see danger. Because they can see the kind of swords that we're fashioned into. All right. Now with the staff, I know I'm missing a whole bunch of other stuff. I know I am. I just can't remember. I'm probably going to remember when I talk about this. But what you have to understand is we were both created the same way as the trees, the same way we were created from the ground. And the beautiful thing about trees is they're our fraternal twins. We breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon monoxide or dioxide. They breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen. Okay. We're supposed to be feeding the trees the same way they feed us. Okay. There's energy in this in the same way there's energy in us. Dogs have a tail. They are a 5-pronged animal. Insects have antennas, 2 antennas, makes them a 6-pronged animal. We're a 2-pronged animal because we walk on 2. We have all this electrical power within us that needs to be, has an output. That's where this staff comes into play. Okay. And if you take in, like, listen with animals, when you herd animals, they can't tell the difference between you and the staff. They believe you are one and the same. Okay. And it's the same thing with principalities. They see you walking with the staff. They not going to know what to possess. As far as they're concerned, they see 2 beings walking beside each other. Okay. And this is one of the main reasons why the prophets taught the dog to retrieve the stick. We like, oh, it likes stick. No. It's trying to get you to put the staff in your hand. Okay. It's one of the reasons why you see all these Egyptian people like Ramses, and even before then, they had bracelets. They had crowns. These were electrical output devices. I know I'm probably missing more stuff. So yeah, when the principality goes to try to possess you, it takes the staff. If it does possess you, it goes into the staff with the electrical output that comes out of your hands. You have no fat or muscles in your hand, where your brain using 25% of it to motor your hands for a reason.